Let me tell you something most players don't want to hear. You don't lose the ball because defenders are too good. You lose it because your touch isn't. And yeah, I know any top player. The ball doesn't bounce off them, it sticks. It moves exactly where they want, like it's controlled by a joystick. And that's why some players look calm under pressure, while others panic the second the ball reaches their feet. If you've ever felt like your control just isn't clean, like the ball has a mind of its own, you're not alone. Almost every player struggles with this, and most never fix it. But here's the thing. Ball control isn't talent. It's trained. And in this video, I'm going to show you exactly how to train your touch until it feels so smooth, it's like you're playing FIFA in real life. Let's get real for a second. Most players think they have a control problem. But they don't actually understand why. They just know something feels off. The ball doesn't stick. It bounces too far. They panic when pressure comes. And in their head, they're thinking, I just need to practice more. But here's the truth nobody tells you. Practicing the wrong things will keep you stuck forever. And that's exactly what most players are doing. They're putting in time, but not improving their control. Why? Because they're focused on the wrong skills. Let me paint the picture. You go to training, or even just play with your friends, and what do you see? Players trying stepovers. Trying skills they saw online. Trying to beat defenders 1v1. Trying to look good. And don't get me wrong, the skills are fun. They're exciting. They make you feel like a baller. But here's the problem. Skills mean nothing if your first touch is bad. Read that again. Nothing. Because football doesn't start when you have the ball under control. It starts the moment the ball is coming towards you. And that's where most players fail. They're not prepared for that moment. So what happens? The ball comes. They miscontrol it. It bounces too far. Now they're chasing it instead of controlling it. A defender closes in. And boom, they lose possession. And then they blame pressure. They blame the defender. They blame the pass. But the real issue was the touch. Always the touch. And here's what's even more dangerous. Most players don't realize how much this is holding them back. Because bad control doesn't just make you lose the ball. It limits everything. It limits your confidence. It limits your decisions. It limits your creativity. Think about it. If you don't trust your touch, you're always rushed. You don't have time to think. You don't have time to look up. You don't have time to play smart. You're just reacting. Panicking. Surviving. Not because they're faster. Not because they're stronger. But because their first touch buys them time. Time to think. Time to decide. Time to control the game. Now let's talk about something most people completely misunderstand. Talent. You've probably watched players who just look natural. Everything they do seems effortless. Their touch is clean. Smooth. Perfect. And you think, yeah, they're just talented. But that belief is what keeps you stuck. Because it makes you think control is something you're born with. It's not. It's trained. Every clean touch you see is the result of repetition. Not random repetition. Deliberate repetition. There's actual science behind this. When you repeat a movement correctly over and over again, your brain builds something called neural pathways. Basically, it programs your body to perform that movement automatically. And the more you repeat it, the stronger that connection becomes. This process is called myelination. And it's the reason why top players don't think about their touch. They just do it. Automatically. Without hesitation. Without panic. Without mistakes. But here's where most players mess up. They're not repeating the right movements. They're not training their touch. Your timing matters. Even your mindset matters. For example, If your body is stiff when receiving the ball, your touch will be heavy. If you're not looking around before the ball arrives, your touch will be reactive. If you're tense because you're scared of losing the ball, your control will suffer. Everything is connected. And this is why just trying harder doesn't fix the problem. You need to understand the system. You need to understand what actually creates good control. Now let's talk about pressure. Because this is where everything falls apart for most players. You can have decent control when you're alone. No pressure. No stress. Plenty of time. But the moment a defender is coming, everything changes. Your touch gets worse. Your decisions get rushed. You panic. Why? Because your control isn't automatic yet. You're still thinking about it. And in football, thinking is too slow. The game moves fast. And if your touch isn't already programmed into your body, you'll always be one step behind. That's why elite players look so calm. It's not because the game is slower for them. It's because their fundamentals are automatic. They've trained their control so much that they don't even think about it anymore. And that frees up their mind to focus on the game. Now here's something that might change how you see everything. Ball control is not about stopping the ball. It's about directing it. Most players think a good touch means keep the ball close. But that's only part of it. A great touch does something more. It sets up the next action. Pass. Dribble. Shot. Movement. Your first touch should already be preparing your next move. But if your touch is random, you're always reacting instead of planning. And that's why your game feels chaotic. Uncontrolled. Now let's bring it back to reality. If you're watching this, chances are you've experienced this. You've had moments where your touch let you down. Moments where you knew what you want, but it's also fixable. And that's the key thing I want you to understand. You're not stuck like this. You're not just bad at control. You've just been training it the wrong way. And once you fix that, everything changes. Your confidence goes up. Your decision-making improves. The game slows down. And suddenly, you're the player who looks composed. The player who always seems in control. The player others struggle to take the ball from. But it starts here. With understanding the problem. Because once you see what's really going wrong, you can finally start fixing it. And in the next part, I'm going to show you what FIFA-level control actually means. And how you can start building it step by step.